Hey everybody, Dauntless here. In 1861 to 1865, the North America was embroiled in a civil war between the Union States and the Confederate States, each one fighting for their own political and moral views. Over 600,000 people died in this war, which is about 2% of the population of the United States at this time. I'm interested in this war because when I was a kid, my parents were hellbent on making sure that I understood as much of that about this war as possible. Because, like many people, they view this war as being a turning point in the United States and a turning point in the way in guiding America to the mentality we're at right now. This is the war that literally created the United States of America as we know it, whether you love it or hate it. For years, I have looked for a game that fully encompasses and represents what war was like back then. Groups of people moving on blocks in what we call the Napoleonic combat style would move into huge lines of soldiers and shoot into each other with incredibly inaccurate guns, mowing each other down as fast as they could. Cannons from behind would try and blow away as many of the enemy brigades as they could before they reached the front lines. Cavalry swooping down the battlefield, trying to cut off supply lines, trying to give generals the information they needed to properly move their massive blocks of units into position. To me, I've always felt it was fairly heroic how these people did this, especially in such battles as Gettysburg or Fredericksburg, where these blocks would charge into insurmountable defensive odds, and there was almost no chance you were going to survive. No game has ever managed to encompass this for me. And that's even with games like Rise of Nations or Age of Empires, one that sort of touches on it, and another that's almost right in that era. Except for now, hence why I'm playing Ultimate General Civil War. This game is fantastic, and I'll try and explain it as much as I can as I'm playing, but for the most part, I want to try and play this as more of an experience. I can give you a little tidbits here and there on the rules and how the game is, why the game is making decisions that it does, or how my units are surviving or whatever. But I don't want to go into all that, because otherwise this video would take forever. And I'll try to stop talking now and preaching about the Civil War and move right into the game. I'm going to start with the campaign. And we have a nice little
A house
sound
divided
thing here.
against itself cannot stand. This government cannot endure permanently. Half slave and half free.
I
Abraham
rise,
Lincoln.
Mr. President, for the purpose of announcing to the Senate that I have satisfactory evidence that the state of Mississippi, by a solemn ordinance of her people in convention assembled, has declared her separation from the United States.
Alright. And that there, of course, that sound bit, or the voice recording of that moment, is about when the Civil War really started coming into fruition. So here I can choose what kind of graduation I went through with West Point. I can either be a tactician, a strategist, or a logistician. Logistician is kind of more my favorite just because ammunition is very important, and the army organization allows me to build a slightly bigger army. So I'm going to go with that. And today I plan to play the Confederacy. Mostly because a lot of my favorite generals were over there. My absolute favorite general was on the Union, actually, and that was Chamberlain. But with Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson on the Confederacy side, I really want to see if I can, what it's like trying to change history a little bit. Excuse me. So now, during the Mexican-American War, this will decide a few more stats and ones that you have not yet seen. So I can either go with some medicine, I can get some reconnaissance, or a lot of reconnaissance, and a little logistics. I'm going to go with reconnaissance because I want to know what the other side is doing as much as possible. Yes. So, cavalry. I was on a horse. Sounds kind of like me, though. I like speed. Further career. What I did after that war, and before I joined the Civil War. Did I go into business, did I stay in the army, or did I go into politics? I like to think I'd kind of be part of a business thing, but knowing me, I'm a little more of a visceral kind of person. Even in my job, I'm kind of a grunt, so I'm going to go with army. And we are going to go with the Confederacy. It says here, the country is divided. You cannot fight your own people. I should probably be doing an accent with this. Something like, so you've returned home and joined the Confederate States of America. The high spirits and the spirit at the core of your fellow countrymen will help you forge a powerful army and win the war. So here I'm going to choose whether I'm a Brigadier General, Colonel, or Major General. And this is basically just difficulty. I like to go with Brigadier General because I don't want any penalties, but I don't want any major advantages either. And the name of my general is General Mason Vanwell. Alright. And I have no politics, no economy, and no medicine. So with that being said, if my guys die, they're going to stay dead. My guns are going to be really expensive, and I'm probably not going to get much of a major benefit of winning or lose, or too much of a penalty of losing. It's, you know, but I will know exactly what the other side is doing, and that's sometimes a good thing. My enemy info is trivial. I can only have 1 core, no restored units, 0 recruiting, 10% ammo. My veteran cost is lower by 7.5%, which is actually pretty good. Alright, let's get this underway. General, your first assignment is to secure a small coastal fort at the bank of the Potomac River. Nice. Your vanguard must hurry up and eliminate the Union batteries while the fort is lightly guarded. The Federals have been alerted and gather forces to block the river passage in front of you. Additionally, enemy regiments have been spotted marching along this road. So, they're coming down this way, I'm coming up this way, and my goal is to get in there and stop their advance before they get all the way to the castle. Because once they hit the castle, their defensive measures are going to be insurmountable, and I'll lose a ton of guys. And in this game, what happens in the first part of a mission carries over to the second. So they're not going to like give me a random boost to all those brigades that I lost people in. I'm going to go in there with exactly what I came out of this with. So I want to have as many guys survive as possible. Advance fast and gain ground before the fort is heavily reinforced, or else your task will be much harder. The rest of your troops will join you in about half an hour. Alright, so I've got my cavalry right here. I've got 1 skirmisher. There I am, the head honcho of everything. Kemper and Siegfried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this as aggressively as I can. I'm going to move everything as fast as I can to try and get up there. Now here's the benefit here is if they have anything here, which I'm positive they do, I can try and get in there and force them back. And if since I have the number advantage in a lot of areas, actually, let's double time it. So my guys might show up tired, but they can get in front of those reinforcements. And I'm going to have these guys charge at this. I want everybody to get up there. And I'm not going to do hold fire, because if I wanted them to get there even faster, I'd hold fire. But while they're on their way, I want them to shoot. That way they'll push back Chetland here, and they'll push back this other guy that I saw up there. I'm keeping Crocker kind of out of combat right now because I'm going to use him to try and hold off artillery. So I want each of these guys to try and take the road. I don't want anybody to... I want everybody to be going as quickly as possible. Hexamer moving up there. And you'll notice they're moving back slowly but surely. And the reason, of course, is because I've got my guys running into them full tilt. And they don't have many guys in comparison. Mason Vanwell is doing a very good job of keeping up. Siegfried took some hits there, but I'm going to have Hexamer try and keep these here skirmishers busy. Now, the best thing that can happen right now is that one of these groups goes into a retreat of some sort. Hexamer's going to move up. And if they can go into retreat, I can get my cavalry to move in and stop them. This is a terrible place I'm in between two groups of soldiers, but it's kind of the best I can do, considering I don't want to have to face a fully defended fort. Mason can move a little bit quicker now. And there they are. See? I've gotten their guys headed off there. I'm going to get my guys into defensive positions. That way. There we go. And Crocker can cause some damage with their skirmishers there. So now I've got a defensible position here. I can get everybody off of double time up, and I think I have resources. The Yankees have determined to... The Yankees seem determined to defend the fort. We've got reinforcements and supplies. Use them wisely, General. Okay, so we're going to take everybody and get them moved up as quickly as possible, because these are the guys that I'm going to use to try and get this all kosher. Because as you can see, I've got the 1st Ohio coming in, and I think what I'm going to end up having to do is bring out some skirmishers and have them move to the back of the line to basically cover that area. And there's skirmishers here. Where's my guys? Okay, so Crocker is right there. I have another group of skirmishers around somewhere. Oh, they're up here. So these guys are actually doing pretty good in keeping the 3rd Ohio occupied. But at the same time, if I can get Siegfried to shoot into them, I should get a little extra damage. So the 1st Ohio is pulling back. They're not gonna... They're like, I ain't doing that. So I'm gonna disband the Siegfried guys and get Kemper's reformed group in there. So everything is reformed now, and hopefully by the... Guys, take the road. What are you, born in a barn? I'm gonna have everybody move up that way, and I've got supplies so I can reinforce pretty easily. Whoever gets there first is gonna end up dealing with these skirmishers. That's right! And then, Crocker, I'm gonna keep him over here because, yes. And you'll notice we're both in outrageously high cover. It's 100% cover there, and I'm not so sure where he's at right now, but basically we're not causing any damage to each other in this area. So that's why I have Siegfried shooting in there, because he should be able to get the extra damage. Boy, guys, could you cross any slower? Here, go down that way. So I've got this pretty well held right now, and that's all I want to do at this moment until I get everything else formed up. Even if I had nothing here, like the 3rd, 2nd Ohio and the skirmishers, even if they were gone, I'd still be waiting here because I'm going to have to, because I'm going to want to get all my guys before I attack the fort anyway. Keep firing, boys! Actually, everybody's doing really good. That's 57% and 79%. Okay. So while we're sitting here waiting for my guys to get up into position, I'll have Alan move in and start hitting these guys. Actually, I'll have both these guys move in there, and then Bernie will move in back that way. Everything in here causes a change in your units. Speed, cover, everything. These guys are routed. So now that they're routed, they're basically just running. So I'm going to have these cavalry charge at them as fast as they can and try and kill off as much of them as I can. They're going to start moving up. So, like, houses obviously give you good cover, trees and things like that. But also, if you can keep your eye open, the elevation can affect things too, like how far your guys can shoot. It's a little harder to see the elevation. I think that's one of my few problems with the game, is that the elevation is difficult to see, but it actually does have an effect. Good. And that guy's disbanded. He's gone. So now Alan's going to move up this way. Canfield is moving up there. And here's Bernie. I'm going to have him start coming around this way so I can start routing everything that way. There we go. 2nd Ohio is routed. And I'm going to have them all this guy head out that way. I'm going to have Alan come across. I want to try and capture what I can, because if you capture stuff, then you get a ton of resources. And seeing as how I have no politics and no economy, I'm going to need all the resources I can get. I am nobody's friend. Okay, I took that vantage point. These guys are low on ammo. And you can see, if I click here, you can see the gray bar supply. That's basically just ammo. Okay, we got cannon fire moving in there. Keep Crocker out of the line of fire just in case they decide to get zealous. Okay, these guys can move back, actually, because they should be fine. Bernie should be able to get up there and do his thing. Alan and Canfield are already moving into position. Alan's going to take the farm there, and I have Crocker to keep an eye open for where everybody's going. And that's one of the great things about reconnaissance and just knowing where the other guy is. Okay, so Siegfried and Kemper are gonna move up. Mason, stay with the dudes. Stay with the broskies! Canfield is in position. I think I'd like him to move a little closer up, but I think he should be good. And then I'm going to have Kemper come around here like so, because I'm going to have you move up. Yeah, Mr. Vanwell. If I can get this guy to come around and I can block their escape, I might be able to capture the whole mess of them. Okay, I'm gonna start moving guys forward. They have so few guys now that there should be no way. Oh, these guys are still on double time. I don't need double time. I just need to get over there sometime today. Now, condition is basically how tired they are. Once condition runs out, they start moving pretty darn slow. And they can't charge anymore. And these guys, their morale is gone. Their condition is probably very low by now. So... And it looks like the only thing left in the castle is the 4th Ohio and whatever artillery units they have in there. And I don't think I've lost any commanders yet. You can lose your commanders, they can either get wounded, which makes it so that they are out of commission for a little bit, or they can die. So you can even see your losses here. Overall, if I look at my Mason Vanwell, I've only had 10.61% losses. These guys are fleeing, so I think that means that they're just gone. They're not going to come back. Let's see what happens if I chase them. Maybe I can arrest them or capture them or something. But I think they're in full retreat, so really not much of a chance of that happening. Let's do this. We'll just charge in there. So this guy, I should probably have him head back. That way I don't end up spending the rest of eternity waiting for all this to finish and everybody to get back into position today. Melee. Their guys are bleeding out. There we go. So I captured the 3rd Ohio. I can tell them to withdraw from the battlefield. We're going to have everybody else kind of start moving across. Canfield! I told you, you bugger. Get over there. Okay. So I've captured one of their guys. Siegfried can move back. And I had Siegfried just in case they decided to start doing something slippery. So I'll get a few extra resources from that capture. And I get the resources no matter what, even if they don't fully withdraw. But you want to withdraw them because there is an off chance that somebody could get over there and take them back. And then you don't get the resources. So I'm going to have everybody line up in the tree side here. So to make that a little easier on me, I'm going to go like this. Select everything. I don't want the cavalry. Oh, wrong button. I don't want the cavalry. I don't want that. And I don't want that. Nope. We want to form a line across that. So everybody's going to start out in the tree line, and we're all going to move together. They also don't allow control groups, which is just a little annoying, but that's okay. So once everybody's lined up, we move them out. And obviously there are smarter ways to do this, but I kind of like the nostalgia and the, I just like the immersion you feel when you play this game. And you'll find with me, if you watch my videos, a lot of times with games like this, especially if they're for something I really enjoy, War Thunder, I'm more of a, I really like playing it. But with games like this, first-person games, adventure games, immersion is almost key for me to enjoy the game. You have to have perfect immersion. And there goes the 3rd Ohio. Bye, guys! And that line I drew, that's a right-click move. You just draw the line. It's just like the left-click and drawing where you want your guys to go. And, oh my goodness, it just makes you feel like you're in command of everything, because you can just tell people exactly how you want them to move. I wish they would implement that into more strategy games. Even in, like, something like you can do it sort of in StarCraft and most other ones. You hold shift and set up waypoints. But with this one, it just feels so much more natural as you're just drawing a line where you want them to go. Okay, my supplies are out front, which is probably a stupid idea. My general's in with my dudes, so that's good. And these guys are almost off the battlefield. There they go. Okay, so I've got in-game time 1.5 hours. So let's get this going. Everything there except for that, I need you guys to start moving. And I want them all to just go. And this guy's going to move in here. He's actually going to head up here and that way. A lot of times, okay, I've watched some people play this, and a lot of times what they'll do is try to go through the door. Not going to happen. That door is such a pain to get your guys to go through, it's very impractical. Which is actually kind of like real life. Because if you're trying to go through the front door, I think you'd have an issue. So I'm going to have Hexamer go in there, and he'll get into cover and try to distract stuff. And I'm hoping he can get, maybe he can get a little range in there. Nope, he's basically just cannon fodder right now. This guy's got to move faster, this guy's got to move faster, and you've got to move faster. So on the double quick, boys, get up there. Mason Vanwell trying to stay with his dudes there, but I want him to get up there quick. Alright. Allen's heading up. He's probably going to end up taking on the batteries. It's going to be Canfield and Siegfried and Bernie. Okay, these guys can slow down just a little bit because they're almost there. Kemper's going to be the most exhausted, though, because he's really got to cover some distance here. And a lot of times I'm sitting here and going, why couldn't they just go around, like, the town here or something? Because that slows them down. But have you ever tried getting a group of 515 guys to make a nice little arc around a town in square formation? It's not easy. You guys need to move quicker. You guys need to get in there. So this guy's going to take on Miles. This guy's going to go in this way. They aren't using their defensive position, which they totally could. And I'm just having these guys stand here for a while everybody catches up. Okay, everybody's got to get in there. And I'm going to go full melee with this. Everybody needs to be doing the melee dance here. So go to the door, get going. Bernie, move up. Siegfried. These guys can charge. That can charge. These guys can charge. Charge. And the exhausted guys, of course, aren't, but I'm going to get my general there. And then Allen is now dealing with those batteries. And this should break their line. So I'm already inside the base. The Chetland's routed. Miles isn't far behind. Siegfried needs to move his fat rear end into the base. Mason is running away. And the reason is you don't want your general to get captured. Crocker is going to keep his eye open over here just in case somebody decides to run away. I can have him try and kill them before they get away, regroup, and come back. So we've secured the fort. We only have 13 in-game minutes before we've won that. And we just got to take out the batteries. So let's get Allen to come around this way. Kemper's doing great. Bernie's moving in. Good job, Kemper. Mason Vanwell can move in. Hexamer moving up. And of course, the general thing, that is a little more of like a hero unit for this, but it does make sense that if your head general is going in with you, which did not happen a lot. Your guys would have a lot more morale. And that's all he really does is make the morale. I'd call this an unmitigated success. This is fantastic. Both batteries are gone already. The coastal fort is almost captured, and they've got stuff disappearing by the cartload. That's routed. Crocker can go in and deal with this. Because I think at this point, Miles is low enough that no matter what happens, I'm going to wipe him out. And there we go. That is the fort. So, I am going to stop the video here. There is a second part onto this. So, once I come back, I will show you the second part of all of this. I think I've kept this video about where I want it to be 20 to 30 minutes. So, drop by the next video. Check out the defense of the fort because the Union does not want to give this up. So thank you for dropping by, and hopefully we will see you again. Bye-bye.